Oh, we are indeed live. The big live buttons there.
And good evening and welcome to Endless Banter episode 20. As you can see, the big man is not joined by the bigger man. I am joined with the one and only Kevin Lester. You may know him, you may not know him. Say hello, Kevin.
Good evening, guys.
And you are also joined by Mr. Levi Oddmods Trucker. Pretty
much. Hey guys, how is everyone?
So Paul is currently enjoying his anniversary evening, so you are stuck with me and these two boys. The show tonight is going to be based on a vapor's perspective, as these two boys don't have any fingers, pies or penises in the vaping industry. I hope so. So we're going to do sort of a perspective on just the general vaping background and sort of what guys think of the industry. Some of the subjects we have going to be discussed before, but it's going to be great to obviously hear these guys' opinions. So first of all, we'll start with you, Kevin. Kevin, we start off with, what have you had for tea? What are you drinking? And how's your week been so far?
What I've had for tea, I'm still in the process of eating my tea. I've had a cheese and pickle sandwich with some Branston pickle mini cheddars, and it's got to be cherry cola for me this evening. I've been at work. That's all I can say really with how my week's been. Did you include what am I vaping?
Yeah. What are you vaping?
I'm on the billet box. With salt, mango, and passion in there.
A very good juice. That I can actually back that up, mate. That's a very, very good juice. And what about yourself, Mr. Tucker? How's your week been? What are you having for tea? What are you drinking? And what are you vaping?
Tea was a burger. It was a good burger. Lots of spice in it. You know, chili sauce, garlic sauce, jalapenos. Some spicy like that. Drinking for the first time in 2 years, such an alcoholic beverage, and it's Guinness.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So it's getting mental tonight. I have worked a shit ton, so I'm very tired. And then when it comes down to vaping, I'm on something I can't really say much about yet. That kind of gives it away.
So if anybody hasn't recognised Levi, he was the gentleman on our last previous episode of the Endless Banter giveaway on Facebook. He walked across the street in just his tighty whities. If you haven't seen that feed, make sure you check out that feed, because that sexy man does walk to the bus stop and shouts in just his whities.
Lovely. And my creepy neighbour looked at me.
So, fellas, let's sort of have a little bit of a backstory. I'm going to switch it up a bit. Just basically sort of when you started vaping, what got you into vaping, how you see yourself advancing in vaping, sort of how did you advance, just generally a nice little backstory about yourself. So we'll start with you, Levi. Kevin, you can wait.
I was the guy that was there, like, people vaping, I'd be like, oh, look, they vape. What a gay. I was that guy. I was one that's always slagging vapors off, saying it's terrible. And then I sort of thought, maybe smoking's not so good for me. So I got one of those little pen ones, and then I moved from that into a 40-watt O-sub by Smock. And then it was just the nicer flavor. And then over time, I felt the getting better in the chest and all that malarkey, being not so out of breath. That's what got me into it. And then as I moved on to it, I think I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the community to start with. But then as the community's got bigger and I've got more involved in it, I'm less inclined to be part of the community sometimes. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
As for me progressing, yeah, I went from a guy that was on literally a Poundland pen, 18 milligrams, to a guy now that can, you know, I'm okay at building, but I'm not great. I can wick anything, and I'm happy to use mechs. But to begin with, I had a mech just for display purposes. So I think I've come a long way, and obviously I do reviews now as well. So I handle a lot more mods than I would have if I just stayed on the pen.
The question I've got to go back on is definitely the whole, he's a vapor, that's gay. I've got to go over that because we obviously know that the general public do have sort of the memes and stuff that sort of take the piss out of vaping and stuff like that. As obviously yourself seeing it previously to get into vaping, and your opinion was, oh, you're a vapor, you're gay. You know what I mean? So not saying that there's anything negative in that, because obviously the fact is there's a lot of that memes out there and stuff. What was your mindset when you sort of changed from thinking that to getting into vaping? Would you think it was just that's how it's perceived, or what is your opinion on it?
In my local area specifically, people don't like change. It's very old fashioned. So vaping's something new. So naturally, where they're like, get the pitchforks out. We don't want that here. You know, I think that's sort of where it is from my local area standpoint. For a general public standpoint, I think it might be the same thing. You know, it's new. I suppose when you blow big clouds, it's a bit show offy as well.
It does show a little bit of an arrogant sort of thing. I can definitely see that sort of side of why general public would feel the arrogance thing. To me, I never thought I was amazed when I first saw vaping. I never thought, oh, vaping gay. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's anything wrong, because that's a perspective of a lot of people. So it's sort of, I always thought amazing. Do you know what I mean? Really good sort of, what is this device and stuff like that. But it's nice to obviously hear an opinion that's different, because, you know, a lot of people that get into vaping would never sort of turn around and say that they have that mindset before they got into vaping.
Well, yeah, I'd like to think that anyone that sort of follows me or knows me would know that I'm generally like an open book. If you ask the right questions, I give you the right answers. And, you know, I'm pretty honest about it. You know, like I said, I slagged it off to high heaven. I was like, this is pointless. It's a fad. It's not going anywhere. And now look at me. I'm sat here on like endless banter. I do reviews. I'm semi-known in the industry as well. So, you know, I don't know. That's my evolution, I suppose. I thought it was gay. Turns out it's actually pretty cool.
Honestly it's refreshing, because obviously the whole thing of vaping changed your mind on sort of what it was like, which is definitely a positive. You know what I mean? If it's changed yourself, it can change, you know, other people's perspectives on it if they actually want to stop smoking, which is definitely refreshing. So just to let you know though, you're still gay.
I think as long as people are getting off cigarettes, that's the most important thing. I think, you know, whether you're on a mech, you're on a regulated, you're on a pod, it doesn't matter. I think as long as you find something you like, something that's beneficial to you, you know, and it's like just making you live a little bit longer. I think that's what it's all about, and that's what the community needs to focus on. It's not who spends the most on a mech, who's buying cheap liquid, who's homebrewing. It's who's improving the industry, who's doing something to help other people, who's recommended it to a friend.
Yeah, it's definitely about the main game of it is to obviously stop smoking and obviously saving lives, which is definitely what we've done to millions and millions of people, and they've done to themselves. So that's definitely beneficial to it. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it is and the way the industry's moving forward, isn't it?
Yeah,
I just like to say hello to Paul. Paul is in chat. Paul, go watch 50 Shades of Grey or whatever you're watching. Enjoy your evening. So, Kev, let's go on to you, mate. Sort of, when did you start vaping? What sort of first attracted you to it? So forth and so forth. Did you think vaping was gay when you first saw it?
No, when I first saw vaping as respect, it wasn't what it is nowadays. I've been vaping nearly 5.5, 6 years. So I was about when the original pens were out. So the eye taste, that sort of basis. I started on one of the original, don't know if you can remember, they were like a white stick and you used to put a powder cartridge in them. What used to give you a small amount of nicotine dosage. It wasn't electronic. That's what I first tried. Didn't get any joy from that. Didn't give me the nicotine what I was after or anything. I did go back to smoking for about a week or so, as I didn't get what I needed from that actual device. Went in towards Lincoln area, to a vape shop, got my first sort of setup obviously was the iTaste CLK, I think it was, and the original Mini Nautilus. I think something like 12 milligrams of nicotine, and from there, it seemed to suit my habit what I needed. So yeah, that's how I got into vaping itself. Didn't think it was gay because I don't think it was as widely known as it was or it is now. There's no blowing clouds or anything back in that sort of time.
Yeah.
Wanted to create bigger clouds of like 1 ohm builds because obviously it used to be like 2.4 in new resistance.
Fucking hell.
Obviously back then it was 1 ohm builds. You'd never think sub ohm.
Yeah.
So obviously you would build a mech for that 1 ohm sort of power, and obviously led from there, got more and more into the hobbyist side of the vaping industry, making e-liquid, building coils, making custom mods, that sort of basis. So I've tried bits and pieces along the way, and it seems to have stuck. So that's pretty much it, really.
I'd just like to make a comment first of all on Paul's thing, and I think this is referencing to Levi. Is the only thing gay about vaping is the geezer. If the geezer selling you the device fingers your ass. So the only thing about gay about vaping is that. So I think that's referencing back to you, my brother.
I was just gonna say that I was on like Reddit looking up some vaping stuff, and I found like an old school post, and there was some guys like, "Oh, I'm trying to get bigger clouds. I'm running at 7 watts." And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Big clouds, bro."
So let's go sort of like on the sort of transformation of sort of, you know, Kevin saying obviously that there was not much there. What he first used was the powder sort of inhaler, which is necessarily like, I think, were you that supplied by the doctors? Was that and then RT?
No, I originally bought it somewhere like Boots or something. And what
Okay.
was, it would have been nicotine replacement.
Yeah.
But it was instead of the patches or anything like that basis. I went for something what I could put in my hand and put that hand to mouth sensation. I think a lot of people, when they're packing up smoking, they miss that hand to mouth interaction. And that's why I went for a device like that, because I got that hand to mouth interaction all the time from it.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously the gums and stuff have always been available, and you've obviously got the gums, the patches, and stuff like that. So Paul's saying they were available in chemists. I never saw them in chemists. I don't think because I was ever looking, if I'm particularly quite honest. I only sort of looked at.
I think it was Boost Chemist, something like that. That was where I originally first looked into actually doing it. But obviously, it was 5.5, 6 years ago, or however long it was. You didn't, as vaping, what gets you into vaping, you don't actually know it is actually a thing until you start doing it and you grow with it a bit more.
Yeah.
You don't realize it's such a big thing to what it actually is. Now, I think it would be, obviously, everyone knows, everyone who vapes. When I first started vaping, I knew no one, didn't know anyone vaping whatsoever, didn't know anyone who was trying to pack up smoking, had no idea in how do I go from being a 20 a day or more smoker to stopping success. And fortunately I found the way what actually worked.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a main thing with a lot of people that are obviously aiming to quit is finding the right device. And sometimes a lot of people sort of get one device and then they sort of turn around and they're like, have I tried that device? I've tried vaping. I've had enough of that sort of, and it didn't work for me, rather than like yourself, went off and tried different things. So to me,
that's literally
personally, that's
my
what
dad.
it is.
I got him the little Wismax, whichever one that one was. I got one of those. He tried it for a couple of weeks, and then he was like dual fueling, and then he goes, "Oh, it leaked. I don't want it anymore." And then it was like, it burns my throat. So I was like, "Get low nicotine." I was like, "You haven't got to have a tobacco flavor." No, that's what I want. That's what I want. Another 3 or 4 weeks later, he hasn't used it. It's been back in the box, hasn't been touched. You know, my dad must be on 40, 50 a day. Like, just whenever he's got 5 minutes and have a quick fag, you know.
It's like what you said. It's like the change. You know what I mean? People are like set in the ways. Like I'm sure a lot of people just sort of stay in that focus, stay in their lane of I don't want to change. This is what I'm like. This is what I'm used to. I'm not going to do anything else. So I agree with the fact is that, you know, I mean, a lot of people don't try devices or don't even try vaping because they are very much sort of stuck in the ways in that aspect of things. But I want to go on to sort of like the community as well, boys. Obviously, like yourselves, you're not heavily involved in the industry, and as I say, you've not got fingers in pies and stuff like that. And obviously, as Kevin mentioned, said, you know, he didn't know anybody who vaped. He sort of got into the community, obviously, via like Facebook and stuff like that. Sort of, what do you guys think of obviously the community? What did you think when you first came into vaping? And obviously, the first thing we do when we get into vaping, we go onto Facebook and find groups and stuff like that. What was your sort of feelings and getting into sort of this side of community thing? Because did you think it advanced your vaping more? Do you think it helped? What's your opinions? We'll start with you, Kev.
So when I first started vaping, I think it must have been nearly 6 months of me vaping solidly before I went on to actually any group. I wasn't aware of obviously groups going about then. Obviously, the amount of people what I knew who vaped then was the person who I spoke to in the shop I went to, and myself. I got into the knowledge of obviously Facebook groups through the lad who worked in the vape shop. He told me a lot of different groups, what were available to talk to people who were going through the similar sort of sensations of obviously giving up smoking, they'd been vaping for a while. And that's how I first got into the community. It did grow my knowledge to an extent because you saw the new things coming out. A lot of mine, I did go on the basis of I didn't specifically go for someone's opinion on something. I would go out and buy it and try it to see if I liked it.
Yeah.
I think I've advanced myself in that sort of respect without relying on someone else to advance my vaping style.
Yeah.
Did learn a lot within the communities of building coils, obviously moving on to sub-ohm, that sort of basis, when originally it was 30 watts on maybe a sub-tank. That was the maximum sort of sub-ohm you could ever do. And obviously it just rolled on from that sort of basis. So obviously it did grow. The communities have grown as well. Obviously a lot more people vaping, a lot more people know about the communities, what are there. It's widely available knowledge now that the vaping industry has a good community with it. Everyone's willing to talk, help people along the way if they are struggling. Obviously, we all are there for a specific reason, and that's to help people stop smoking and stop smoking ourselves.
Yeah, it's to me like there were never no groups. There were never really any groups when I first started going onto Facebook. Sort of, it was a little bit of stuff on YouTube. There's obviously like your normal people like your Grim Green, Todd was there, I Get 69, which is Scott Bonner. You know, a lot of it was more on YouTube than it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
I do definitely agree. It's obviously with the industry moving forward, and there's a lot more people in the industry. Obviously, means then it's gonna sort of keep balling and snowballing, and it's gonna grow. Sort of with the industry, and do you feel that when you personally yourself, Kevin, got into the industry and you were searching on Facebook and stuff like that, do you think a lot more people shared knowledge rather than, you know, literally just opinions? Do you think a lot of people just were like learning at the same time, and
Yeah.
everyone sort of took on board what they were learning and stuff like that?
Yeah, like you're saying, obviously, back then a lot of people shared more knowledge, but it wasn't necessarily knowledge they knew for definite. You would all share your sort of own sort of thing with each other. I can remember, like you said, obviously reviewers and stuff. One of my main ones, what I used to watch, was yourself. Obviously, you know that. Obviously, we spoke about that before. So that was the only sort of reviews what I would watch. But I went on to watching other bits and pieces on reviews, but knowledge-wise, people did share that knowledge. Used to have a group call to each other, and I've tried this build today, or we used to sit on video calling and try different builds, trying to get a different build to perform a different way, and within a group of your 4 or 5 of you, however many there was, we would sit there and you'd maybe sit there and build 6 or 7 times a night, trying to get the best performance safely with what materials you had, what device you had, that sort of basis. So yes, the knowledge then was shared a lot more freely than what I feel like it is now. I don't know if that's more because people don't want to know, so they don't ask, or they feel stupid, so they don't want to ask.
Yeah, I agree. So, what's your opinion on it, and Levi? What do you think of the community when you got into it?
When I first started it, obviously it was just like, again, my local community, the few people in the vape shop that I knew, and then it wasn't until I actually started doing odd mods that I realized there were so many Facebook groups, and I obviously added loads of them to obviously try and promote myself. And initially, I didn't really pay much attention to them, and then as I got more and more into it, I did pay more attention. And I think that a lot of I've noticed that because I've only been vaping 2 years, but in that 2 years I've seen how like it started off as like it was a real like community and like there was a lot of interaction and stuff like that. I think it's changed because it's become more of a business. So if you look at it, like everyone makes juice, everyone does reviews, everyone can make a mod, blah blah blah. So everyone's trying to just be better than everybody else. So therefore it becomes competition. You still do get the groups. I see occasionally, my certain coil isn't working properly. What have I done wrong? And it's like it's not screwed in. You got the wrong coil. People do still help out, but I find that some people they won't ask as often. You don't see the questions as often because I think people are slightly embarrassed by it. But I think the community has dwindled off. Just in the 2 years I've been in it, I've seen it get more argumentative and abrasive, to say the least.
I definitely agree with that, and I think sort of maybe the community vibe has gone a little bit. You know, we've stated this on previous shows that obviously the community is not like it was sort of, 4 or 5 years ago. You've obviously seen it when it was at its peak, and obviously you've seen it now when it's sort of, I would say, really on its backside. But it's tough because, as you say, everything you've just said is correct, and it is sort of very much business run. People are doing it because obviously they're doing live feeds for giveaways, and it's all about promotion of business and stuff like that. And I get that, and that is obviously part of the vaping culture because obviously within sort of the Facebook scene and stuff like that, there is a lot of, groups out there. Somebody will set up a new group tomorrow because they don't like a fucking admin of a group, and it's got the same sort of 25 to 30,000 people in the group. You've probably got 30,000 groups, and you've probably got every person's probably in that same fucking group.
I'm probably only about 10, 15 groups, and that's enough. A lot of them I hide from my feed because like the buying and selling ones, don't need to see them unless I'm looking for something. Some I'll be honest, I'm in 1 or 2 groups just because it's comical. I think I sent you a link to one of them the other day. I'm in that group merely because it's funny. But some of them I have there because it's nice to see. I enjoy a bit of like arguing between people. If someone's arguing, I'll sit there, I'll read through it and see what the problem is. But there's two people the other day. I won't name them, but they're both quite well known in the industry, and they fell out over an order. Essentially, one was ordering from the other. And then there's two big pages about one's got 10, one's got 12,000, I think, and they're both on their individual pages slagging each other off. And I'm there like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to watch and read, but it's doing nothing for the community. Again, it's just tearing it apart again because people in groups are showing
it's sort of showing that the sort of players that are in the game, sort of that they're rather than not having that argument via a phone call or through private messages. It's
exactly, if they're such big bollocks, rather there and sort it out in person.
I think you get that in any sort of industry or any sort of subculture in anything, but obviously in that situation, me personally, if you're putting your business out there like that, then that, by any means, go ahead and do that. That's your opinion to do that. That's there for the community to sit there and laugh at, because if you're willing to do that, then you know what I mean, you're willing to sort of show yourself up, in my personal eyes. But once again, it's Facebook, it's freedom of speech. You can say what you want, you can slag whoever you want off, go for it. I just personally, as we've said before, you know, the community itself obviously is thriving. It really is thriving for, you know, to have the community like that. And me and Paul have said it on previous shows and stuff. But it's still obviously nice to have. There's still that little bit there. I think we've saved just a little bit of the community, you know, like with shows like this, you guys coming on tonight, people in the chat getting involved. There's still that little inch maybe of the community still left. So I think necessarily the only way to move forward is to build that community up again. But then again, I put this question to you both: how can we get the industry back to where it was?
You know, I would jump in that because we sort of spoke about it before. Like the other day, we touched on it, and there was I had a verbal diarrhea. I had a page on Facebook, Vape Streams, and the idea was to bring people in, you know, like share videos like this and other live streams to just get people involved, stuff like that. And it worked for a little while, and then people get bored of it again. Facebook's a tool. I don't think it's a solution. You know, there's something. There is something. There will be a way. It may be a wonderful super mod or a fantastic juice that comes out one day. I don't know. There'll be something, but Facebook isn't the answer. Facebook's just a tool to promote that answer.
Yeah, I agree. Kevin?
I think the only way to get the industry or the community back to what it was, just to touch on a little bit what Levi said, maybe something revolutionary, something new, what no one knew anything about. People had to ask. That would obviously create people to talk. I think a lot of it, you will struggle to get the industry back to what it was, because a lot of people are now in the industry, working in the industry, and that's how the groups separate. People support their own territories. Paul picked up on it a bit, to saying about people grow the pages, but then they will support their own group and territory because it's theirs. They don't sort of share their information much out of that group. The only problem doing that is obviously if you're in that group and someone else's group, if you have the knowledge but no one else has, if you're not willing to share that information without having someone to go onto your group to share that information with them, I think a lot of people just it's all about me, me, me. They want to grow themselves. And unfortunately, I think a lot of it is all about the free shit in life. How much free shit can I get? And how big the group is will depend on how much free shit you get. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. If it's a huge group, a lot of companies will be happy to sponsor that group for that reason. So that will mean the admins potentially get liquids, and obviously they get giveaways as well. So obviously their group will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's where they will just defend their group because they're getting a lot from it. They won't be willing to share it elsewhere. So I think you would struggle getting the community back to where it was. The only way would be that every company stopped giving away free stuff, and people had to talk.
I agree, and I have to go back to the point, like, and Paul mentioned it in chat and saying, I think there is still community. It's just clicky as fuck, and you obviously mentioned that. Obviously, it is very much clicky. It's very much very off for yourself. You know what I mean? It's for your page, and you know you want the best for your page. Don't get me wrong, that's all cool and everything. But I remember sort of like you had certain groups out there that a lot of them work together.
Yeah.
You know, I think that sense of, you know, not necessarily community, but even like teamwork has sort of gone out the window of obviously, you know, joining hands together and sort of working together. You know, that's very much sort of gone out the window. It's very much me, 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 me. And getting the industry back to where it was definitely needs sort of very much egos to go out the window. And I think if the egos were left at the door before you came into sort of the community side of things, I think things would be a lot smoother and it'd be back to as normal. I think that obviously, you know, it is a lot. Majority is about business, and a lot of people obviously have the communities to promote their products and that sort of. You know, as I work for Endless, I can never say that. You know, we never use Facebook. Facebook is obviously been a great thing for us as a company to sort of get our products out there and get the name out of the product. Facebook has worked really well, and the community has worked very well supporting us. So we can never sort of demise the fact that, you know, the community isn't a great thing, because it is. I think it just needs a lot of work, and if it is going to be worked on, it's going to take a lot. So it's got to be sort of, I can't even say to you guys, you know, it's got to be main players that have got to sit down and sort of do this and do that and do the other, you know what I mean? I think the whole community themselves have got to have that in their mind, that we need to sort this fucking shit out.
Yeah,
I do think that
like Paul just picked up on the comment. He honestly believes it's the business side that makes it clicky. So obviously that goes back to saying that obviously the businesses are going to make it clicky because they're supporting whatever group they are doing. So they make that group clicky themselves.
But then it goes back to sort of like sponsoring groups and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily say no to groups, to sponsoring groups. But obviously, if they want the page sponsoring, I'm trying to get necessarily not just saying I want to get the brand out there, get it as many Facebook groups as we can. It's literally, we want to show that support for these groups as well. So if we can sort a discount code for every group and them all have the same group, but then I sit there and I think, well, the same 12,000 people that's in that group is in that 1.2k group there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's very much sort of we are showing our support back. Obviously, it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the sort of person to sit and go, no, it's not about business, because it is. Obviously, we're getting the name out there. People are learning the products. People are learning who we are and what we do as a business. But it's also a thing for me to go, do you know what? You guys have asked for a discount code. You want it for your group. You want to grow your group. But then there you can go. You can have that discount code, and sort of you can sort of maybe less so lean on our back to say we've got Endless sponsoring the page. You know what I mean? But it goes back to, there's so many groups, yet there's fucking not many vapors.
Yeah.
You know, how many vapors would you say is probably on Facebook, as in just UK wise? 30, 40,000?
Probably more than that, I reckon.
In groups, we're talking in groups. We don't mean just
I've really thought of, to be honest.
An account. I mean, not just having a Facebook account. I mean, actually take part in community. In
there must be, let's say that the 10 that I'm in, you know, the 10, 15 I'm in, the ones I look at, I quite regularly see the same names.
Yeah.
So that will bring the numbers down. Obviously, you get the vendors that you see all the time. You sort of disregard them. And there's on one group, there's a guy that he'll post a question or a video or something every day. But even when he's gone abroad on holiday, he'll still post a video. So he's committed to it. He's trying to keep his group active, and I get that. But then you get other. I don't know. It's just hard to gauge how many people there are doing it.
Paul said, I reckon 40,000 throughout all the groups. Definitely, there's got to be 30 to 40,000 people just on Facebook. And you imagine you've got one group that's got 25,000. You know what I mean? That's nearly more than 3/4 of the fucking community in that one group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these are active. We're not just talking people who are just on Facebook and read about vaping. We're talking active members. And as you said, you're seeing the same people.
Because
that's it.
I was on that. Like I said, I was admin of that group that I've just been kicked from. I'm not sore much, right? And I noticed in 3 days, it went from 12,500 down to less than 8. It's like 7.9. So I don't think in 3 days, 5,000 people went, oh, I'm not into that anymore. They're probably fake accounts. They got shut down.
Well, there is a lot of fake in accounts on Facebook.
I think that a lot of people will buy the accounts to get their group going, and then you go, message you. Oh, hey, Tom, we got 15,000 members. Want to sponsor us? And then obviously from business standpoint, there's 15,000 people in there. That's something to consider then, because then, like you said, you go back and see that there's only 40,000. There's probably 40,000 in general. They're probably in the other group you already sponsored.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, you are sort of, as this quote is very sort of, you know, you're singing to the choir. You know what I mean? They're already there, so you think you're going to something fresh, something new, and they're already part of the same community. But then it goes back to the fact is that there's that egotistical mindset, and people want their own groups, yet they're already in 50,000 already.
Yeah.
You know, you're singing to the same people constantly. So to me, honestly, Facebook went, fuck you, you're having one Facebook group for vaping, and that is all you're fucking having. I honestly think the community would grow a lot better. And
I don't know. I think it would have to split though, because then like you need somewhere for all the dickheads to go. They need to have their own group, a dickhead group, and a genuine proper vapors group.
But then to me, a dickhead to me is somebody who's very not very knowledgeable. You know, we can change these dickheads by giving them the correct information and giving them the right knowledge. You know, we are very open people, and we're very open about what is. There's obviously going to be people in this world we don't agree with, we don't get on with, and whatnot, and we're going to class them as dickheads. But if we educate them the right way, I think a lot of people would have the same mindset. Let's be realistic. You know, a lot of people are buying the same devices. A lot of people are buying different devices. People are modding them the same. People are modding them differently. Everyone's sort of different. But I think if we were sort of all on the same mind track that this is how it's going to be, then that's it. And Paul said he wants to be in both. Paul wants to be in the good group and the dickhead.
In an ideal world, there would be not one or two, but like 5 groups. You have a group for people selling their stuff, a group for vendors, a group for like learning and discussions, and then a scammers list. Why not? I don't know. Like that would be the ideal way of doing it, because then there would just be one group, and because it's one group, everyone gets the benefits from it, you know. And then, I need to buy a new mod, I can go to group B because I know that's where X, Y, and Z sponsor that group, and I can get 5% off that mod.
Yeah.
You know, I want to build, but I don't know about Camphor wire. Oh, there, group 3. Hey guys, I'm new to vaping. How many wraps do I need for X, Y, and Z? You know, that would be ideal, but it's never going to happen, is it? Really?
No, it's nice to think about, though. It's definitely a nice situation to think about, and it probably would work. That definitely would work. So if you had the branching out of different groups and stuff like that, it would really work. It's just sort of putting that mindset into people. Yes, you're not going to change 40,000 people's minds, and everyone's going to want to do their own thing and stuff like that. I just think we've got to work with what we've got. But I always think in my mind, and this is what I always come back to, I always go, the reason people don't get involved and people are quiet and people don't necessarily want to be a part of the community and stuff like that is because they're bored.
Yeah.
Nothing. I get there's a new mod coming out every 5 minutes, and that should keep people fresh and whatnot on stuff that's going on. But I think, as you guys said earlier, there's got to be something new out there, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a product of, you know, a mod, a juice, or whatever. I think something out there that could necessarily switch it around and go, do you know what? Fuck it, it's going to change it. You know, I honestly think in my mind that people are bored.
I thought for a while it was squonking, because I've never been a fan of it. I don't like it, if I'm honest. I am tempted to give it another go. Now it's obviously changed a little bit in the past year or so since I last tried it. But for a while, everyone was squonking. That was the big thing. People were talking about it, you know. It got people engaging again. And then it goes back to max and then regulated. And then you can get the biggest fucking tank. And then it'll go back to, it'll go full circle again. That's how it always happens.
There's always going to be that cycle in devices and stuff like that. And then obviously hype stuff coming out and whatnot. Me personally, I don't know what it is, but there's something that can be brought in for it to be fresh again. You know what I mean? To get everybody sort of involved. We know people have got busy lives. People, you know, want to spend time with their families. So not everybody can get involved all the time. But there's definitely got to be something there that, you know, could change the ways.
It could be. I know, but then it is finding what it is, isn't it? It's got to be that one thing. Like I think the new Riftcore tank, that'll get people a bit excited, but then that's going to be short and sweet because it's got 2 plates. That's it. You're not going to change the ohms on it. You're not going to do anything like that. It self-cleans, you know. So for a short while, people will be interested in that. But because you can't modify it, 2 weeks later, it's going to be on to the next thing.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Kev? What do you think the thing is that we could sort of maybe change, or do you think we're far past that?
I think the industry itself is coming to that basis of what more can you do. The industry's grown so big so quickly. Companies have forced that due to obviously releasing devices every week. Nowadays, yes, they release a new device, but it's the same as the other device because it's the same chip in it. It does the same wattage. It just looks different. So there's no new technology there in respect.
Mm.
I think obviously you've got the MTL side of it, you've got sub-ohm, and you've got your mechs. I would class mechs as separate to sub-ohm because most people sub-ohm on a tank. And then you have your next stage, obviously, of your mech users. But I don't think there's anywhere else for it to go. They've done ceramic coils, they've done temperature controlled, or they tried to do temperature controlled. Temperature control went nowhere.
Yeah.
So I can't really see personally where it can grow. I think everything's been released, what can be released. No one vapes anywhere near more than 200 plus watts unless for an advanced user what would be using a mech anyway, or a lipo box or that sort of basis. So any mod what's released, there's no point releasing a mod what's got 400 watts of power and then another mod what's got 600 watts of power because no one's going to be vaping that.
Yeah.
Would be buying that device. So I think you really would struggle on the innovation of the industry. Paul has just put a comment up saying the innovation will change the industry. The developers have been allowed to keep churning out the same shit in different colors. That's why there's no excitement about anything new.
Yeah.
And it's 100% correct. That every company are releasing a 200 watt mod. Yeah, it might do 230 watts, but it basically might as well be a 200 watt mod. And they've been doing that for several years now. It's not going anywhere. So there's nothing being developed. I think personally, the only way they could develop the industry to make it better would be to make coils last longer. A lot of
That's not good for business, though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
business wise, no, but for the industry as a whole, for the vapors actually who vape, it would be better for them. A lot of the industry now are full of sweet juices. Majority of juices on the UK market are sweet. If you buy potentially a smock coil, I've used many a smock products, the coil lasts 2 days.
There's one there. Literally lasted me like 3 days. I got out of it.
2 to 3 days and it's dead.
Yeah.
And I know Horizon Tech have just released the Arco 2, or it's been out a while. They've got the flax paper in the coil. So the sucralose doesn't get to the actual coil itself. So I think that will help of obviously longevity of the coil. But you are restricted with the amount of power you can put through it. So if it could develop something what could give you that punch what you're after, what's not going to annihilate your coil within 2 minutes, I think that is the only way would be to develop product what is already there to make it actually better. Instead of saying it's 230 watt mod, be a bit more precise. Most mods on the market say they're a 230 watt mod, but when tests have been done on them with high amperage rated batteries and everything, they don't perform to that wattage what they say they are. Most of them are 30% less than the actual power what's stated on screen.
Yeah.
So develop the products better, be a bit more accurate. I know Vupu has got I think it's the gene chip in it, if I remember rightly. I find the Vupu chip a lot more precise than most of the chips on the market. When you set it 60 watts, it feels like you're vaping potentially 60 watts. But if I get a smoke mod in the other hand with even the same tank on it and chuff on the smoke mod, 60 watts doesn't feel like anything. So you go back to the other one and it gives you that kick. So I think developing of products what are already there would be my way to say what would make the industry better.
So I got to agree with that. Like in one hand you have one mod, and the other hand the other. I've got the Captain and the Captain X3. I have them both set up exactly the same, and the normal Captain felt a lot more powerful compared to the X3. So therefore I stopped using my X3, and literally I'm just going to flog it because it doesn't do what it says on the tin. It's not good enough for what you pay for it. I agree that products should be better. Like the coils, 3 days isn't good enough.
Yeah.
I remember when you started vaping, they're like, yeah. I said, how long will this last me? Should be 2 weeks. And at the time, it probably would last you maybe 10 days, if you're a bit honest. Now, like I said, 2 or 3 days, and you're spending $350, $450 on a new coil if you use stock coils, which is, it's criminal. It's meant to be cheaper than smoking as well, which clearly it isn't if you're spending that on it. I think there needs to be something to change it, make your coils last longer. But I think you also got to look at the juices from that side as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people love these Malaysian juices, and yeah, they taste amazing for a day. I had one juice, and I was running it on my death trap. I had to clean it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Which it's ridiculous. I want to be like I do. When I go to work, I'm there for 24 hours. I need to know that I can have 24 hours of a juice that's going to last and not ruin my coils. I don't want to take 2. I don't want to take my kit. I just want to go there, when I have a vape break, have a vape, and not worry about it.
Yeah, it's like when you go out in the morning. If you do 14-hour shifts or longer at work, you're constantly worried. It's like, right, what do I need to take with me? Spare coil, or at least one coil, couple of spare sets of batteries. I'll take a spare mod because that will probably go wrong because they're known to go wrong. Then I'll take another tank with me because I'll break it. And you end up taking a big bag full of things because that's the way it has to be. If there was product development there, you could pick up one mod on your table, you could take it to work, it will last about 14 hours, that coil's going to be fine, the liquid's going to be fine in it, and overall it would make the vaping experience a lot better in that respect. So product development, I think, would be a big thing to obviously improve the industry. I will just pick up on a couple of comments what a couple of people put when I can find them. Neil put, a dual battery mod will never do a true 230 watts. Their power loss will only be to about a true 180 watts. So that goes to show that it's not just me who feels the difference of obviously what a device says it is or what it's supposedly doing. It is actually a true thing that devices.
Yeah, but that's overrating as a selling sort of thing.
Yeah.
Definitely not overrating to sell it.
That's what I mean. So obviously, if you product develop something, Paul's put himself, the gene chip itself is a badass chip. It's precise. So that has had its product development. It's precise. It gives true readings and everything else. And 80 watts would be plenty enough power for a majority of vapors if it was a true 80 watt and the coil performed well at that wattage.
Do you think obviously the technology of Canthil wire, stainless steel and all, every sort of grain of wire that you can get, it sort of, do you think it needs to change as in what sort of wire we're using, or what would you say would sort of give the improvement of coils? Would you say it's more the cotton than anything else, or what would you say if you could say I want to change coils to this? What would it be to obviously advance coils? Because that is definitely a subject. I know we haven't discussed it, but it's definitely a subject where the coils haven't really changed, have they? They've not really advanced. They are literally just your standard wire with fucking cotton packed around it. There's never been sort of an advance. But
So-
then I always think, is the need for advancement in coils?
Yes, because you take the Aspire Cleto coil, for instance, just picking the Aspire Cleto coil out there, it only has one official wicking channel in the original point 4 coil. The others look like they're a wicking channel, but all it is a piece of cotton what's laid over a metal bar. If you got a pin and poked the cotton on each side of the coil, it would only poke through on one side. So it's not truly wicking to how it should.
Right.
That way, I think, personally, this is only personal opinion, if they develop a coil where it looks like it's got plenty of wicking channels, it's not going to dry hit or anything else. If they're restricting that flow, it would cause it to dry hit, what will cause a coil to burn out. So obviously, like you said before, Tom, it's not good for business to build a coil what's going to be perfect and what will work for a month or more, because business wouldn't be able to substant. Obviously, people go and buy 2 packs of coils from a vape shop to last them a month.
Yeah, as long as it drank juice like a fucking TFB4 coil, then it'd be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So obviously, if you juice
a better coil though, it's going to last longer. You can charge more for it.
potentially, yes. But I don't think the industry would allow that.
Well, wasn't
People,
that coil that was made? I think it was for the Cleater 120, and it had like a gold tip, and it was meant to be the ding dong. And they were like twice as expensive, but they guaranteed it to last twice as long.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll try. I'd at least try it.
yeah, that's the thing. I know people vape to a budget. A lot of people do, and unfortunately, a lot of people would go week by week with one coil, what cost them £3 for whatever coil it is. Unfortunately, they couldn't afford to buy a coil what's potentially £8 on week one because they haven't got the money to do that.
I think that's bollocks because we never budgeted on fucking smokes.
No, we didn't. But people now do that in the vaping industry. I've been into a lot of vape shops where you get someone who comes in and goes, right, I've got a tenner. I need a bottle of juice and a coil. What you got? And that's all they're bothered about.
Yeah, that's because they're tight bastards. It's not because they're fucking running on a budget. It's because they're tight bastards.
Yeah, but a lot of people, I know a couple of people who only vape because it's healthier for them. They feel it's healthier for them and everything else. But they have got that sort of budget where they're only left with a couple of quid at the end of each week. And to make the coils more expensive, they would be stuck in that scenario where they would have to stick to what they've got.
To me, that goes back to when people are like, I can't afford to vape this week, but I'll have to go buy some fags.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think maybe people are going in over tenner and going, I need a coil, I need some juice, because when you first started vaping, the guy behind the counter went, it's cheaper than smoking, and they've gone, oh yeah, okay, I believe that. Because you do, you believe it. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Initially, it's cheaper than vaping.
I'm smoking.
Yeah, it's definitely initially it's cheaper than smoking. But if you get shiny-itis, you're fucked.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it is.
I had to work out. I've been vaping now 5.5, 6 years. Even what I've bought in the extensive sort of collection of what I own, I've probably only spent the same amount of money to what I would have done on tobacco products.
See, I don't think I have. I think I'd buy, because I'd go and buy like 50 grams and I'd say, right, I can make that last me 3 days. Because I was a heavy smoker. I'd know that. But then if I buy a juice, like what was it, Schlurp, the ice version of that, I'll buy a bottle of that and go, that should last me a week. Nah, 2 days it's gone. Because I enjoyed it so much, I'm just there chain vaping it. So I've got to buy more, you know, and then see.
I do get what you mean by that.
By that, you know, it's.
Yeah, Paul's saying the same thing here. It's cheaper than smoking. If you use a device to replace cigarettes, turn it into a hobby, and you're shafted 100%. But to me personally, when you start coming into sort of shiny-itis, right, and make it into a hobby, that's your choice to make it into a hobby. You can spend as much money and you can spend as least money as you know what I mean? You turn it more into, you know, I were always a person when I were young and I had money. I always bought stuff that I could see rather than going out on the piss. I bought stuff that was physical, and I think a lot of people now have the hobby of vaping where they've got physical things to show for what they're actually spending the money on. When you smoke cigarettes, you could buy 200 at shop and it'd cost you whatever it cost you. I don't have a fucking clue what it costs now. But you say, for instance, you buy a sleeve from shop, you smoke a cigarette and you smoke the 200, you've got fuck all to show for it, but you've spent however much. With vaping, you've spent 260 quid, but you've got a device in your hand and it's actually physically there in your hand. It doesn't go anywhere. And I think you can use that as sort of, I've got a new device. You know, we all know when you get a new device, you use that one as your all day, and then you go 2 months down the line, you used it every fucking day. You go, I'm bored, I want something fresh. But if you used the older device and kept that one device as your special device and go, I'm gonna use this as a house mod, you're not gonna get bored of it, so then you don't get shiny-itis.
Yeah.
I'm looking on my desk. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 7 mods just on my desk. You know, if I didn't have shiny-itis, it'd be 1 mod, and it would last me. You know, you could make it real cheap. You buy 1 mod, you buy 1 tank, you learn to build, you learn to wick, and you homebrew, and then you bring your price right down. But then
it becomes the sort of, before, I don't know if you probably saw this, but before it was buying new devices to be big balls. I've got this new device. I spent £1,000 on this device. I've got big bollocks. This is what I'm spending my money on. These days, people still spend a lot of money on devices, but it's not as much sort of, I've got this, because nobody really seems to give a fuck unless you're in a community that's about that device. Nobody really seems to give a shit because you're vaping for what you're vaping. You don't need to spend a lot. It's all that for me. It's all personal choice, and you're buying these devices for your personal pleasure. And if you want to go out and get pissed on a Saturday, you do that. Or if you want to put that towards vaping, that's fine. You know what I mean? But as we're going back to sort of, you know, personal opinions on vaping, the way people buy devices is totally different to the way it used to be buying devices.
I totally agree with you. Obviously, I've been there. I've done that. I've got a T-shirt where I bought a device, what was a lot of money, and you did it to basically. It was more of a fact of, it was, yeah, you liked the mod of the look of it and everything, but you would do it to show it off.
Hand check it, yeah, definitely. It was all about who's got the fucking best device, yeah.
And it wasn't just a normal one. It had to be an LE version of it, and it had to have maybe a custom button. It had to have a specialized deck. I know a long while ago there was a solid silver battle deck and a diamond encrusted battle cap, what was for sale. And I was looking into buying it because I wanted it just to say, look what I've got. But I thought, no, I'm not gonna carry on down that route. And that is where I changed.
I can say I'm a bit like that. Like, it's like a TV. It's like, I bought a new TV. Hey lads, come watch football on my TV. It's fucking massive.
Yeah.
Same with this. Like, look, I've just bought the new. I bought the Aromizer Plus. I was like, fucking look at this. It's mental. Show it off. This, look what I've got. You know, I don't think I'd go to the extreme. Like, I see some mods for sale for like 2, 3, 4, 500 quid, and I think, no, I'm not going to do that. But then maybe. But then maybe at the point, if I did have that money, I may consider doing it, because you can't buy a modern Argos card yet anyway. So, but
well, can't you? Because obviously Argos started selling vapes, so you must be able to buy it on your Argos card now.
I don't see why that's. I don't feel like that's an issue anyway. I think vaping anyway is going to retail outlets, and that's the way it's going to be. And the people see that they can cash in on money. You know, I've seen a lot of people vape shops stocking blue today. I've seen a few posts for people stocking blue. in vaping shops. It's a big tobacco, so fucking what? So what it be? You know what I mean? If it stops people vaping and it gets them
It stops people smoking.
smoking, I do apologise, not vaping. If it stops people smoking, then that's it. But there's so much in this industry, and there's so much in this sort of community of people. You know, it can fucking work. It really can work, and it's obviously proved for the last 6 years it's working. It really is working. It's got the attention of the biggest fucking media outlets going. It's got its attention from the biggest fucking stores going. It's in Asda, it's in Tesco's, it's in Morrison's. Do you know what I mean? This industry has got so much growth in the time that we thought, like yourself, Levi, I probably thought it myself. Kev, you probably thought it. It's just a fad. It's just it's the new in thing. And I remember a lot of people saying that to me. Oh, you don't really make me out in a year. It's just the new fad.
Yeah.
It obviously has proven it's not. And there's a lot more this industry can give and a lot more it can take from it. So what more can you say on that subject?
Supermarkets is I personally I was against it. I see the pros, you know, it's getting the product out there. More people go to Asda than go to a vape shop. Fine, not a problem. But I feel that a vape shop's a vape shop for a reason, you know. So I don't know where I sit on it. But then people that are dead against it, that's because they want. I think they want to keep it underground. They want to keep it closed, and you know, only their little community. You know, this is vaping, not everything, just this. Just our little group. We're safe here. We're vapors. We got each other's backs. You know, we help each other. Goes into a supermarket, and then someone else does it, and then they're going to join your group. And I think they want to keep it underground. I think.
But to me, if you keep it underground, there's no way of making it worldwide, growing the industry.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The advocacy side of it.
Say that again, sorry, Kevin.
The advocate of obviously you try and encourage people to stop smoking. It's been stated that it's 95.5% safer for you than smoking. So obviously we try and promote that, and to keep it underground where it's not going to be in large retailers and everything else. You will struggle to do that, and trying to get more and more people vaping and off cigarettes.
You stunt its growth, but you definitely stunt its growth. But I get what Levi is saying. It's like you can, to me personally, going through sort of when vaping was first around and it was shit to where it is today. It's almost like you think, it's my baby. I don't want to let it go. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine having a 2-year-old and then she's all of a sudden 16 and you've got to let her go out house on her own. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of what the industry is to me. It's very much my baby. I've seen it grow. I've seen all the shit. I've seen all the hurt. I've seen all the TPD shit coming, all the pain and people stressing and all this shit. And it's our baby. This is our baby. This is what we've put our time and effort into for the last how many years we've all been doing it, and it's ours. You can't take our baby away from us. And I think that's the main hurt we have, is that the industry is going so fast and so big that we are losing control of what used to be our baby. It's no longer our baby. We've got to share it. It's got to be out there for us to let it grow. And it's very much similar to what I've said, letting a kid out and letting it grow. And we're not going to let this industry advance if we stunt its growth by saying, you know, it doesn't need to be here. It doesn't need to be there. It needs to be everywhere, really. Let's be realistic. It needs to be, you know, we obviously can't put it on newspapers and stuff like that. We can't promote, obviously, the gear and stuff like that we all have. But what I'm saying is if we can't get it out there to the globe and let everybody know this is the safer alternative to smoking, we're going to stunt it. To the fact is that someone will come in and go, if you're going to stunt it, I'm taking it off you, and off I fucking go.
Yeah.
We can't stunt it in that way. And I agree with you 100%, because it is we are very much emotionally attached to this industry because we've all been in it for years and years and years. I've never known sort of a hobby and a job that I've very been much emotionally, you know, in contact with. You know, I've met loads of people. I've learned loads of stuff. I've advanced myself in my career. You know, in just this supposedly little small industry has changed me as a person. So we're all very emotionally attached, and you know, we've got to let it fucking fly. We really have. It's weird talking about it in that sort of sense. You know what I mean?
Do you
Because
not think that it's gonna like affect the businesses though? Because if it's, do you think like the companies like yourself could end up being stocked by someone like Argos or a market like
that's a
that?
really good question. That is a really good question. And Paul said this: if Big Tobacco comes tomorrow and offers him 10 million, he's selling.
Mm.
You know, at the end of the day, I appreciate we're all in this industry, but everybody who's a part of the industry as a business is in business.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, you know what I mean. It's there for a reason. I get we're very much passionate. If you were selling cars and you were into cars and you're a petrol head and you had a business and you were selling cars and you were still a massive petrol head and you were still part of it, but somebody came along and went, do you know what? I'm fucking, here's some money for your business. They're gonna go, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. But there's nothing stopping industry people selling their business to Big Tobacco and turning up around and changing the name and starting another shop up or starting another business up.
yeah, true.
There's
It's
nothing stopping that.
Paul's just said
3 million, 3 million in a second. If anyone's got 3 mil, Paul's up for it.
in the short term, the big chains would convert thousands of smokers to vapors. They will migrate to vape shops. Long term, they will have a vape professional in the main chain stores. So you would potentially, you would hope that you'd be able to walk into Argos and yes, they are selling kits, but you might be able to ask someone a bit of advice on it.
I think you're going to get more people sort of returning stuff to independent shops rather than going back to Argos, especially with vape gear. Because what a lot of people are going to do is they're going to go to Argos, they're going to purchase a device, they're going to have no fucking clue what they're doing. What is the first thing they're going to do as soon as they don't have a clue what they're doing? They're not going to go back to Argos, are they?
They're going to go to the nearest vape shop they can find.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
I think
exactly
they got
what
Facebook.
they're going to go on Facebook.
Facebook vaping shit, mate.
Like
Back to the shop to buy some ciggies. That's why you can't have some knobber just going, oh yeah, mate, that's 200 watts. There you go. That doesn't do. That means fuck all.
I think there's a certain level to where, as all retail, high retail should be at, you know, for selling vape gear. If it's as simple as getting a cigarette out of a packet, putting it in your mouth and lighting it, like a lot of these pod systems are that are sold in Asda and stuff like that, there is no explanation needed.
But I think I watched a comedian on Netflix, and he said nowadays idiots are a demographic, and you have to cater to them.
100%, 100%. But to me personally, I can imagine somebody going into Argos, purchasing a vape kit, they get it home, they haven't got a fucking clue. The first thing they ever do is go on YouTube or they'll go on Google and they search the nearest vape shop. They go in the vape shop and they go, bought this from Argos. What the fuck do I do? A genuine vape shop's going to turn around and go, well, okay, appreciate it. We'll show you how to do this. Just to let you know we are here. This is the products we sell. If you need anything else, you come back to us. Other ones would go, that's fucking tough. Give me that. Snap it in half. Throw it in bin. You've got to buy this.
Yeah, that's what I see happening more, to be honest. Because again, it's a business, and I'd like to think that a lot of people, a lot of the workers would be sympathetic towards them. But then it also depends on your employer. If your employer says to you, look, if someone comes in with that Argos pen, tell them it's shit and they can buy a fucking TFV8 stick or some shit like that. You know,
yeah, but as Paul said in the comments, and this is a great point, he said, but I still say that we don't know everyone who is buying off our website know if they know their shit the same as people buying off Argos. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, so there is definitely pros and cons to it. You know, obviously a lot of people you don't know is buying from your site. If you've got a new name on an order or you see a familiar name and you know they're ordering from you, you know, obviously get a gist when you're doing online orders. But obviously, like with Argos, it's just literally pack, pick, off you fucking go in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's more, to me personally, there's more for us to be gained than there is for us to be lost through main high street sellers. I really do. I feel like when somebody in their mindset thinks I'm gonna quit vaping, they walk into a vape shop. They walk into a very niche vape shop because vaping is niche. If you're going into Asda and you think I want to stop vaping, they're not doing that either. They're walking up to the counter, they're seeing the fags, and they're going, actually, I'll try that this week instead and pick up a vape.
Yeah.
I can't see in my mind how anybody would think, I want to get into vaping or I want to stop smoking, I'm off to Asda. It's
Well,
very much an opportunist sale as it's opportunist sales. It's there just in case somebody comes in and wants it.
Well,
Somebody who's going to go in and buy juice from Asda is probably either the vape shops are closed, they're pissed on a fucking Saturday night and there's no fucking left, and they're on their ass.
all right, then why can't these big companies make like a vape shop instead of that tobacco counter? Have a little vape shop there. Have a little door.
It's all about that. It's all about that, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's all about that.
You still get that money, but then it's like a mini vape shop in there. You can have the extractor fans to get all the shit out, stop people moaning. But then you have some guy who doesn't wear an ASDA uniform. He's there. He wears what he wants. You name it something slightly different. I think that's not. I think it's a good idea actually.
Well, they've started putting they've started putting the iPad counters in Morrison's and stuff like that for like iPhone repairs and phone repairs in Morrison's as a booth.
See, I'll get that for over 20 years down here.
Right, well, they've got up north. They've got like I don't know what it's called or something like that, but it's like a little booth, and it's built into obviously the wall, so it's not like just literally a pop-up stand. It's literally like a little stall, like you would for obviously the cigs and stuff. And they go there to repair the phones. 100%, they're paying so much fucking money just to be in that Morrison's.
Yeah.
You've got to remember, for me personally, Morrison's and Asda, Tesco, all these fucking supermarkets, there is supermarkets out there that's not named, you know what I mean? I'm not being biased. We're not sponsored or all that. For me personally, the investment to set up a vape shop inside of a Morrison's, and you've got to remember, it's not just going to be in one, it's got to be in output into other stores. Do you know what I mean? The investment to put it in there is not, for me personally, for them is not worth it. They're not going to do that. You've got somebody who's wearing a Morrison's uniform serving lottery tickets, tobacco, lighters, you know what I mean, fags, vape gear. They've not got to hire anybody else. There's no money investment. It is literally, remember, these stores are pulling in this shit for fucking pennies. It don't fucking matter. They're buying thousands and thousands and thousands. They're putting it on the shelves for pennies. So if whether it's sat there for 2 months, 6 months, a year, it don't matter. It's not costing them fuck all to put them there. So they're not going to invest to put that out there, because that's, to me, is just the ease of it. You are going into Asda, you are going into a supermarket to buy vape gear on a fucking whim. You're not going purposely for that. I really don't think that's a mindset of anyone.
Kill the natural vape shops though eventually. Look at tobacconists. I know like the idea is to get away from that, but if you go back like 20 years, they were quite common. Like now, the tobacconist in town doesn't sell tobacco. It's a newspaper shop. The same will happen with vape stuff. It will be all right. It's a niche now, and then it will be like you go to a vape shop to buy specialist gear, to buy mechs, and that pretty much like starter kits will only be in the Morrison's and shit like that.
But I don't think you'll get away from it 100% like that. I think there'll always be an on-tap online retailers.
Mm-hmm.
You've always got that opportunity to still be an online retailer. There's a few people that, when the TPD came in, shut their doors and carried online. You know what I mean? You've always got that opportunity to do that if you've got a good customer base. But to me, I just don't see how somebody like, it goes back to Philip Morris, IQOS, has put so much money into vaping, millions and millions, and shut down Marlboro. He's actually shut down Marlboro manufacturing places to put his money into electronic cigarettes. Somebody like him is not going to force all that investment to just not do fuck all of it.
You'd like to think not.
The only reason he's going to do that is to shut it down, and currently he's not doing that well with IQOS. So do you know what I mean? It's not in everyday vaping life. It's classed as a vaping product. That's how they market it, as a vaping product. Currently, it's not in vapors' hands. Currently, it's in people that think it's a vaping device and aren't acknowledged of what vaping is. So they just carry on basically carrying on smoking. The only way they're going to do that is if by knowledge. So the first thing they're going to do is when they get these kits and they're just literally buying tabs, expensive fucking cigs, they're going to go all of a sudden go, fuck that, I might as well go back to tobacco. Or what is about vaping?
Yeah.
It goes back to people's ignorance of not actually researching what vaping is and how it's affected so many people, how it's changed so many people's lives. We've all got busy lives, and people just like, fuck it, do you know what? I'm just going to buy a box of tabs.
Yeah.
The education needs to be there. And then I also think in my mind, who the fuck is going to invest in sort of putting this information out there? Let's be realistic. If you had a booth in town and it told you all the benefits about smoking, first of all, who's going to fucking stop and speak to you? First of all, second of all, who's going to pay for this stand to be in the middle of town? Thirdly, does anybody really give a fuck? Do you know what I mean? It's all about what's relevant to what we want it to be relevant.
Yeah. I don't know. It's sort of it's plateaued. It's been in a rut, isn't it? That could be the biggest problem. Like back to saying like an hour ago that there needs to be something to go boom. Vaping is cool. Vaping's good. I don't know. Something.
Vaping is cool. It does come across as cool. That's obviously then we go into sort of kids trying vaping and it looks cool because kids try vaping and you know they want to be the new.
It's only cool because you like it.
It's only cool because I think we make it cool. I think we're quite cool people. Do you know what I mean? I think we make it quite cool.
But then it's like I don't know. Who do I think's cool apart from myself? I don't know, I'm trying to think of somebody out of the industry that like isn't completely out of vaping. I don't know. Like, remember Colin McRae? He was cool, you know, hurtling around corners at fucking like 60 miles an hour between trees. That's cool as fuck. But someone who doesn't care about cars, they're like, don't care. Same as vaping. If you're not even slightly interested or even intrigued, just go, I don't care. Like, smoke, vape, I don't care. We're all going to be 6 foot under.
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset. I get that. 110%. It's definitely a mindset. Vaping is, you know, for you to be just a tiny bit thinking about vaping, you have to, you know, be intrigued with it. And this mindset of people being like, yeah, you know what I mean, I'm going to give this a go, or what's this about? But it comes down to the main bit of vaping, and the most sort of media we've had has been negative. There's never really been any positives in mainstream media for vaping, you know. So, you know, I still get people today, and you guys have got exactly the same. Is there antifreeze still in? Is antifreeze in vaping? You know what I mean? Is nicotine all right for you? I mean, it's exactly the same as smoking. What's in it? You shouldn't do that. You're gonna get water on your lungs.
Popcorn lung.
Yeah, popcorn lung. The negativity that's being put into the mainstream to actually John Joe fucking Luke who lives down the street who has no idea.
Like I've told you, and I think anyone else on the chat will know, is that obviously I do my like little news reporting locally. If I post a good news story, something happy, no one cares. If someone's been run over, or there's a car crash, or something like that, comments, likes, shares, people like bad news. So when fucking Dicker gets a mech mod and has no idea what he's doing and blows half his face off, well, that's interesting. If someone goes, I was supposed to die 3 years ago because I started vaping, I've lived for 6 years, I'm still going, people go, yeah, that's cool. You know, the do-gooders be like, well done. General public, yeah, that's not exciting. It's not exciting, is it?
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get that. Well, we need to make it exciting then, don't we?
How?
You tell me.
Well, obviously putting lights on the fucking mod ain't the thing, is
it? Putting lights on your e-cigarette is not fucking cool.
I don't know. I did it to one of mine though. I liked it, but
no, I get you. I get that. I get that, and I think you're bang on, absolutely fucking bang on with that. And if we're not excited about it, how the fuck is anybody else gonna be excited about it?
And I just find there's a lot of gimmicks. Like, what's it? That new one? You can talk to it. The fuck am I going to do with that?
What is that? I've seen that. Fuck, it's like Siri in it.
Yeah, but it's not going to do anything good for you. It's not like it's not going to take my bank balance. I'm just going to set the watts from because I'm too lazy to grab it. Fuck off! Like, what's it going to do that? I don't get that.
The point is for me is you're telling me that I've got to talk to it from fucking here. I've got to put the cunt to my mouth anyway, so what does it fucking matter?
Pointless! Like, what's the point?
I've got to put it to my face anyway to suck on the big ball on top of the fucker zone. You know what I mean? Why am I going to talk to it fucking 10 foot away and then go, actually, do you know what? I need to fucking pick it up to vape. What is it? Remote vaping? Vape just fucking flies at you from
vaping.
It's fucking daft. That is proper daft.
It needs to be. I just brainstorm. It's got like if you're gonna make it dual part, if you do something else, make it a Bluetooth speaker. That's handy. You know, the champs will love it because they like playing their loud music in the street and they're vaping instead of smoking. You know, something like that. Or an MP3 player, a Bluetooth MP3 player, something like that.
A power bank. I would just go to having a power bank.
Yeah, but
Going
then
back to an MVP days when you could fucking stick your charger at the bottom of it and charge your phone off it while
yeah,
you're
but then you're gonna stop vaping because your batteries go flat. I think like a
Stop
Bluetooth,
charging your phone, then you fucking wally. You know what I mean?
but a Bluetooth speaker's low power, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking.
Kaylee says, Kaylee Fine Silver says, Tom, you can turn it off to save battery. I don't want it on my device anyway, so I don't want to save battery. I don't want a fucking talking back device. I've got enough with our last, let alone talking back, let alone my mod.
I don't get it.
There's got to be that excitement, and I think you cracked it there with that. There's got to be that excitement. You know, when I come off these shows and I'm on a Wednesday, you guys watching it obviously don't. You enjoy the shows, but you don't get the feeling I get every week coming on and talking to new people and having a chat with you guys and chatting with Paul every week, and I get that excitement back for the industry.
You buzz, don't you?
Yeah, you get that. I'm getting the buzz, and I'm like, yeah, I've got the buzz, and I'm happy for it. I'm excited, and then I turn it off, and I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? You get that buzz, you get that feeling, and it's like you get the excitement for it, and you just want people to be able to feel that excitement as well. But it's getting that excitement back into people, getting that sort of drive. I remember when we were putting up cloud videos every 10 minutes. No one does that now. It's gay. You know what I mean?
I remember doing one of the Odd Mods videos, going live, and one of the right people must have shared it because we got like 200 views on it, and then we sort of reached like 30,000 people. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there like, this is fucking mental. Oh my god! And then every time I go live, I do this. I was like, all right, gotta go upstairs, gotta get ready for this. I'm pumped for it. You know, it's just chatting about Sunkai Joy. If everyone could get that buzz, that would help to begin with. Everyone just getting excited about it. You know, even we're just talking about it, but it's a laugh, it's fun, partially informative.
But what it does though, for me personally, it's like shows like ours. You've got other shows out there. There is plenty of people talking on Facebook live feeds. There's plenty of people talking on YouTube. You know, you get that excitement for 2 hours, and it's like then you just turn it off, and it just goes.
If you talk like that, then it's going to be like everything means nothing. Your favorite show that you've ever watched, you've watched it, it's finished, it means nothing. That's just getting real dark and like.
No, but what I'm trying to say is like, I wish the excitement would carry on, not necessarily just for me, but for everybody else.
You do know that's what crackheads say, right?
No, that's head not crackheads. That's definitely heroin.
The live stream, man.
That's definitely the heroin. No, I feel like we get this buzz, we're having a giggle, and it takes shows like this and live feeds, you know, to get the buzz back.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's sort of, we need people to carry on that buzz for us. We can only put so much excitement, have a laugh, have a giggle, get people back thinking about things and wanting to do shit for the industry they love.
If I was to do a live stream more than once a week, I don't know what I'd say. Like personally, I can't afford to buy a new mod every week and go, I'm going to review this. I'm going to rather do it live or pre-recorded. I don't get paid for it, so I can't afford to do it. I do it off my own back, so I can afford one a fortnight, you know, at best. So like, but then if 10 people are doing it, that's then like you've got at least every day, because you're not gonna like everyone that does it. Like I'm sure there are people out there that watch me and think he's a fucking cock, isn't he? And that's fine because I am, right? But then you need everyone else doing it because some people don't like me, but they'll like you. So they watch this to see you. Some people might not like you and they're like me and they watch it to see me. You know, that's where the crossovers work as well with all these live streams and stuff. Like the one that you guys did with Yorkshire Vape worked really well.
But for me personally, it doesn't. I think the massive influx in giveaways and stuff like that. We do obviously do giveaways and we do them as banter, we do them as fun, but we don't do them every fucking week. We don't do them every week. You know, I haven't shown a product off today. I ain't shown a new juice. I'm not showing no hardware. We've literally sat here for going on an hour and a half and just ripped the shit and had fun. And we've not really sort of, this is what we're vaping, this, you know what I mean? We've not gone through products we're talking and we're having communication. I think there's that massive loss in communication in this industry because of free shit,
People
because of
expect
live
free
feed.
shit.
Yeah, if everyone did a live feed this week, for instance, next week from Monday, every person that goes live on Facebook does not give anything away and it's all just talking. That's all it is, just talking. I think numbers would go either go like that or people would go, do you know what, fuck it, we're just having a laugh.
From live videos I've done, like when I'm on the feed, I call it the magic G word, because even if we're not doing a giveaway, right, and I'm talking, I say someone share it, right. So I say if you share the word giveaway in it, we'll get more viewers. Fucking works every time. So there's giveaways on this page, bang, 50 viewers instantly. You know, because people free shit hunters. That's part of the thing that's ruined it. It's not, don't get me wrong. Like if there's an easy chance to win something for free, yeah, I'm going to do it. You know, why not? You know, I'm not a free shit hunter, but the opportunity's there. I'm going to take it.
Yes, but it proves like when we did the live feed last week,
Mm-hmm.
it proves you messaged me personally before you did it. You went, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it for laugh.
Yeah.
That's what you said to me. I'm not necessarily fussed. It's nice that I'm obviously going to get a prize, but I'm doing it for the laugh. I'm doing it for a bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To me personally, that means a lot more to me than anything else does, because you've literally just turned around and gone, do you know what? We're going to get this. I want this live feed to be hyped. I want a bit of fun. I want to see it. Fuck it, I'm getting involved.
Yeah.
To me, that means so much more to me that people actually want to get involved to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got Nikki and Pixie every other fucking day. They're wanting to do something, to get involved and to enjoy it and have banter. To me personally, that means a hell of a lot more than any sort of person just coming in just for free shit. That's what community is about. Yes, we are giving out free shit. Yes, it is a market employ. We know that people do market employs for fucking free shit. That's exactly why everybody does it. They're not going to do it for nothing. They're doing it to get exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And to me personally, yes, that works. It works massively, but it also helps when you have people like yourself who want to get involved because they enjoy this side of shit rather than just being free shit. And I think if people use that mindset and change up, there'll be a lot more fucking changes.
Well, like I've said to you, like I want to be a someone, right? And I've just chosen this industry because I love the industry as a whole. You know, I to be someone. It's just what I want, you know. But I'm not willing to spend a fortune and give shit away every day to make myself a someone. I want to. If I get 10 views and those are 10 people that are genuinely enjoying the content, I'm happy. You know, I'd rather 10 legit viewers who are enjoying what I'm doing than 100 who are just there because they might win something.
That's exactly like that we do this. And I know we don't pull in mass amounts of numbers on here because people won't convert from Facebook to YouTube. But I'm seeing same people in the chat that are getting involved every fucking week. They're here before we even go live in the chat talking. People then get the link and obviously come and join us and have the banter, and they stay throughout the whole show, knowing damn well we're not giving anything away just because that's their entertainment. They can watch us. There's currently fucking how many people watching us right now? I don't care the number, whatever. But whoever's watching us, they're taking their time out to listen to us and have a bit of fucking fun. To me personally, that means 100% more than anything, because these people are actually genuinely interested in listening to us and having a laugh, and they're getting involved. They're not in chat just to fuck you. They're in chat getting involved, asking questions, you know, talking in chat together. That to me is the community vibe right there in that chat box, because people are just there for us to listen to us and to enjoy the show.
Mm-hmm.
So if that mindset was there for everybody and it wasn't for the free shit, the community would grow, the industry would grow, everything about the whole vaping industry and the vaping community would be a hell of a lot fucking better.
Yeah, completely agree.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna ask you. We're not gonna go anywhere. I'm asking you. Gonna go and ask you a question. I want to know, and we'll start with Kevin because Kevin's been quiet for 5 minutes. I want to know your favorite experience or favorite moment in vaping that you can remember. Go for it, Kevin. I want to know the reason why. I want to know the situation. I want to know the story. I want to know if you could pull one thing out of your head from vaping and what it's done for you, and your experience, and you go, fucking, I remember that like it was yesterday. What would it be?
I would say the only moment what I could pull off the top of my head, what I remember like it was yesterday, would be the first vape I got, what actually worked. As I tried a couple of different items, that would be the first thing what I can remember like it was yesterday, remember what day it was, all that sort of stuff. So that would be the only thing what I could pull from the industry, to what I could remember off the top of my head straight away.
Would you say it was more the most enjoyable, or would you say that's because that's when you took the leap into the vaping side of things?
I'd probably say the leap. Where obviously I took the leap into the vaping industry to what it is now. Obviously, it has changed my life. I'm on social media a lot more. I talk to a lot more people than I ever would have. I've met some wonderful people. Get to speak to wonderful people day in, day out for that reason. And if I'd not made that decision that day to buy that device, I potentially still would be smoking 20 a day. Probably wouldn't be able to breathe, be on inhalers and everything else. So that would be what I could pull for me straight off the top of my head, would be the day I bought my first one what worked.
That's nice to know. Do you think it's talking to sort of people in themselves, like coming out of the shell and stuff like that? Do you think vaping and sort of the hobby side of things and people getting to talking to people changes like you as a person?
I don't. I think it changes you a little bit, if you allow it to. I would have never ever imagined talking on live to a group of people. Some people I've met, some people I've spoke to regular, but there's certain people on here what I never spoke to, and they're happy to sit there and listen to what we're saying. So it does change you. Either if you're happy to go live yourself, or you can happily sit there and watch people talk about stuff. Because people, when we used to smoke, you never went live and started talking about a packet of cigarettes. You would never listen to someone talking about a packet of cigarettes.
Yeah.
You literally live your life and you would smoke. So I think overall it changes a lot of people without them realizing. More some people more than others.
Yeah, definitely. Scott Oliver said, before we get on to Levi, Scott Oliver said, "What was your first device?" I know you said it earlier, but I don't think Scott was in then.
My first device, what actually worked was IT CLK and a Nautilus Mini.
And that is classed. That is like literally fucking years ago, but it's classed as like old school.
But yeah, that is.
And the Nautilus is still kicking around, and it's still classed as fucking old school. Like literally, the Smok Alien, which was released fucking a year ago, is classed as fucking old school. Levi, what is your favorite moment?
Do you know, mine's it's really cheesy actually. It's so obviously when we started doing odd mods, right? That was cool, right? But then it was two. It was walking through the expo and someone shouting, "Oi, Levin," which obviously is what my persona. Someone shouting to me, right? That was awesome. Like that blew my mind that someone at expo knew who I was. And then the really cheesy part of it is when I bumped into you and was about 15 feet away, and you went, because you knew who I was, and I was there like, this guy, like, he's known in the industry. I'm just a nobody, and people know me, and like I'm just a guy who sits behind a camera, does terrible accents, you know, and just talks about shit, and then people know me. People who are in the industry and people who are fans of the industry know who I am, and I just thought that was super cool. That like blew my mind that I was known by people, because I thought I walked through there and not a soul would know me.
I think that's it's lost with a lot of people. With it's very nice what you said, and to me, as I said to you previously, I'm just a regular dude. Kev knows me. Personally, I'm just a regular dude. Kev first knew about me by watching my videos. You know, I'm a regular dude. I'm the exact same as you guys, and it's very nice to hear opinions like that. It's really, really nice for you guys to turn around and say, you know, we met Tom and Tom was nice. I don't know what it is if people expect you to be an arsehole or whatever. I don't know what the expectancy of it is.
We spoke about that as well, didn't we? But we won't talk about that now.
People expect you to be a cunt or whatever. You know, people expect you to be horrible and stuff. To me personally, it's, you know, it's lost. Whether you're a face on Facebook, whether you're a face on YouTube, whether you're a face in this industry, it's very much lost. That the fact is, we are real people. We go through struggles as much as anybody else. You know, we enjoy this industry and we are regular fucking human beings. And as I say, it's very nice to hear compliments and whatnot. But I think if a lot of people were genuine and showed their genuine sides and sort of opened up and wanted to conversate with people and help people, and I think that also would help as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll always help anybody I can. Like, don't get me wrong, my vape knowledge is not vast. Like, I know enough to talk. I know enough to, like I say, I'm a wannabe reviewer, right? I know enough to get me through that. And if I can help you, I will. Any sort of advice I can give, I always will. Whether you follow that or not, it's completely up to you. You know, I'm willing to help somebody who wants to be helped. I'm not going to someone go, oh, you're doing that wrong, because I wouldn't do that. If they go, mate, can you help me with this? I go, I can, or I can put you in touch with somebody who does know.
Yeah. I've got two favorite moments in vaping. My first, probably best experience that I've ever had is, or currently going on, is the people I've met and me changing as a person. I've always been a loud mouth, but I was very sort of in my own sort of skin, sort of very quiet but loud when I needed to be and everything like that. And sort of it's opened me up as a person and met so many cool people, met some wankers on the route, but you know what I mean, that path got somewhere fucking quickly and whatnot, you know what I mean? So that's probably been one of the nicest things, is people I've met, people I've now become friends with, and I wouldn't, if I never that day went into that shop and saw somebody smoking, saw somebody vaping, and then chose to vape, I would never have been in the situation. I would never have been sat on this couch right now. I never would have been the person I am. And the second most favorite moment, which to me showed realism, was, and this is obviously close to your heart, is when we was at Expo and we did the minute silence for Mark. It was fucking amazing.
It's still, I still get a chill whenever we mention it. Like that blew me away. Like I am now sort of there, like, whew, gotta hold it together. You know, there's people here, gotta be a man. Whew. But yeah, man, that was, yeah, close, very close.
It was nice, man. It was a nice. It just showed a lot of, and I know I don't want to go over it because I don't want to better you tear up, mate. Because I know he's very close to your heart. But obviously, it showed realism from people, that it wasn't just about being on the stage throwing out free shit. And we requested it just literally off a whim of things. It was not something we sort of planned. And me and Paul both said,
they were slightly against the silence or something like that, or was it?
No, I don't think so. I think when we was doing it, I was questioning in my ear what we was doing. But I don't think there was never sort of a, what the fuck are you doing? Why are we stood here not doing anything?
Yeah.
It was very much sort of like me and Paul spoke about it literally as we got on the stage. It wasn't something we'd planned for weeks and weeks ahead. We literally said on the stage, me and Paul had a word and we did it. And it sort of like, it wasn't us there to be like, we're going to do this, we've planned this plan. It was swim of the moment. I said on the mic, you know, literally, if I lost a friend, please have a minute silence. And everyone just went,
yeah,
just fucking. And obviously there was still music going on from the vendors and stuff, because obviously not everybody's around the stage and stuff. But it literally, everybody just were quiet and it was peaceful for that minute. And then all of a sudden, the minute we're up and I fucking said, right, let's fucking do this shit. And we fucking got mad. You know what I mean? It was that, for me personally, sitting back and going, I've done stage time. We did stage time in May. We've done the cloud comp on the stage. We've done throwouts on the stage. We've done everything you could think of, we've done on the stage. And to me, that was the most memorable moment that I can say in a few years when I'm older and go, do you know what? That was fucking nice. That was really nice.
Yeah, I said it
and,
was.
and it proves, and it 100% proves that there is real people inside this fucking industry that do have a heart, not a swinging fucking brick.
I think that at an expo, though, that's where you get the real, obviously, die-hard vapors, but you get the people that are more excited about seeing the new mod, the new mech mods out. They're gonna go see it. Gonna go, like when the Empress came out. One of the first things I did was come have a look at it. You know, given Mark was there as well, I just wanted to see him and have a go on it. But yeah, it was one of the first things I came up because it was there, because I'm an enthusiast as well. But I don't think you're going to get the, you do get the older people that go there, but I feel that you will get the more genuine people there. You get the odd dickhead, but you always do.
Every walk of life, you get that dickhead though, don't you? Let's be realistic. Yeah. And so we'll go off that. We'll stop being emotional for a minute. Don't want to see tears. We'll do that when we cut live.
Yeah.
Devices. And we've talked about stuff like this, devices. But if there's one thing you can change, or one thing that you could never have seen in this industry on a device, what would it be? I'm going to start this. I'm going to fucking start this. Mine's temp control. If I could fucking remove anything from a device, it'd be temp control, because that was the fucking worst thing that has ever fucking been put on a mod. And I'm going to steal Kevin's, and I'm going to say more accuracy with devices and more truth in the fact of what the mod actually does. So we're going to start off with you, Kev. What would you want? What do you want on it, and what do you want off it?
As you stole mine, it makes a bit. So I wanted to go first, but I didn't get that option.
That's why I went first, so I could steal it.
I would say the puff counter on a mod. What's it for? Who pays any attention to it? Is there any point of it being there?
I try and use mine. I try and gauge how many puffs I get out of like a coil or a certain juice.
Yeah.
Like, 70, and then I forget. I never look at
but
it.
You're the 1% out of that 100% that actually.
Yeah, but then that's only to the first day, and then when I get to change it, I'm like, I've not done 10,000 puffs. This has been 2 coils. I forget.
Yeah. Puff counter would be my thing to remove off the mod. What would I like to see on a mod? That's a hard one.
That's a good one, isn't it?
As you stole my idea.
Good one. I'm not going to leave myself out. You're mad.
What would I like to see on a mod? Does it have to be a mod or the tank itself? Or?
It could be anything. Anything. If there's something that you feel would be beneficial to have on a device, then whatever device it is, whether it's a mod, whether it's a tank, whether it's an RDA, what would you say would be nice to see? And if you're going to say it on camera, make sure it's something that you're not planning on releasing, because someone may steal that idea, as we've known for Paul to say stuff, and people have then gone next day and released it.
I've also got something else what I'd like to see removed off devices, but I've taken that already.
What's that?
The USB upgrade port. What's the point? What is the point of it?
It should be released working perfectly.
Yes.
It's like my thing with like games, right? Why is there a patch update for this game I bought? I've just paid 70 quid for this game. 3 days later, I'm getting a download for 200 meg. That's a large chunk of the game that you fucked up. Like,
sounds like Fortnite every 2 days.
So going back to it, what I would like to see on a mod, I think it's been on a mod previous, or I know it's been on a mod previous. I think we have mentioned it previous in the show. USB output. So obviously you have got that ability to charge something from it. I know we've seen it with the MVP. I think there was one other mod what did it as well. But I think that would come in a lot handier for a lot of people.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that 100%. I think there should be that. But then it goes back to battery technology, and without sort of going into battery technology, it's very much sort of a hit and miss thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but obviously there's development there, isn't there? And like Paul stated earlier, devices have just been released in different colours year after year. So develop it now, make it better.
Yeah.
Do a lot more research into it, everything else. I know there has been a mod what's not long been released. The backpack, the AA one. I'm in two minds with that. If it's going to be the next big thing or not, I think it's going to be a flop.
We've spent countless hours discussing that.
Yes, we have, and that's why I wanted to quickly mention it. I think personally it will be a flop. It's supposedly for the budget vapor or the emergency vape. But if it's an emergency vape, how can you put the price point of it to what it's being retailed at the minute? So yeah, that's my things. I'm going to pass it over to Levi on that one now.
Cheers. For me, do you know what I really hate? And it's mainly aimed at Smock this time. It's like the gimmickiness of some of the mods. And I get that is what some people like that Iron Man style or Transformer style one. The T-Pro, that one.
Yeah,
I hate it. I just like I got the Zenith right because it's got a light on the side. Thought it was cool. All right, and I did. I think the Zenith's a smart mod. Right, but that thing, I'd look at it and I'd just go, "Oh, it's a piece of shit, isn't it?" It really makes me angry. So like gimmicky things like that in shit paint. I want a mod that if I drop it, it's going to be all right. Like that's something that really pisses me off.
Yeah, but then that would just be idiot proof.
Well, yeah, the Aegis is pretty
Yeah, but I'll agree with the Aegis as well. It's idiot proof. It's pretty much a rubber case around it. I think we class it as IP67 rated. So
give me a second.
just on waterproof. So pretty much.
He's right, 67.
I know a reviewer, I won't mention any names, but he put it in a pint of beer and left it there for about half an hour, and it still worked.
I threw mine across a field into a swimming pool.
Yeah, he was bouncing it off the tarmac to see if he could break it, that sort of basis, and it took some breaking.
So more robust, you know. Once again, back to it's not fucking good for business, but yeah, more robust.
But I say my thing sounded backhanded because I want really robust. Like I want robustness out of it because I don't want shit cheap. But what I want to see on mods are like I want to see like proper HD, crisp, clean screens. If you're gonna have a screen on it, make it fucking mental. You know, make that screen blow me away.
You're about saving battery life fucking 5 minutes ago. Now you want a fucking full HD TV on the cunt.
I want it all. You can put limitations on it. Turn the brightness down, all right? I want it to blow me away. I want to be impressed by it. I want to look at it and go, "Cool, that's a bit of an all right, isn't it?" You know, I want to be impressed by it. I just, you know, I stuck to the Captain, which is now a bit old, right? It does the job. You know, I've dropped it once or twice. I've got quite a good grip, you know, so I'm not an idiot. But it does the job. It does what I want it to do, and I like it. It's simple.
So can I just add something to that quickly? You've got the Yeehee G-Class. Obviously, they've released it with the colour screen. I don't know who's seen it, who hasn't. The resolution of the screen is pretty good. But what you actually gaining from it, from a clearer screen, you can, obviously by luck, but if it's just to read a couple of numbers or set your wattage, does it have to be 110% perfect?
No, but that's what I want.
It depends how anal you are, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to also add another one as well. Take fucking clocks off vapes. Fuck you.
Yeah, there's one on that one.
Fucking clock, man. Who needs a clock on a vape, man? I just want to hit the fire button to have instant ramp up and for it to fire. That is all I fucking want.
Yeah, but that tells me the time as well.
Yeah.
Why?
What if my watch is flat?
What if your fucking phone's in your pocket?
That's in my pocket.
That.
Listen, just stuff like that to me is another gimmicky, flashy way to sell a device.
What a clock?
To me, I buy a device on whether it fucking works, whether it fucking gives me the right vape, whether it hits well, it's gonna last me. It's robust. That's the reason I buy a device. I don't buy it because one, it's got a fucking laser on it. Two, it's got a fucking clock, and three, it's got a fucking HD screen.
Wait, Lev Mods are bringing out a HD range of fucking. They're shit, but they look awesome.
You'll be able to watch
the problem is fucking 42 inches, so you got to carry a mod around like this. That's your fucking there's definitely more advances to be had and stuff. You know, I think going back to what we said about the power bank, I think that would be a fucking great idea. Yes, we all want to save battery life, we all want to have long battery life, but fucking put a big lipo in it. If someone's buying a mod for the power to charge their phones, they're not really going to be fussed about how big it is.
I saw a guy with a lipo mod, and it was like, you know, the Zap boxes, the wooden box the Zap comes in. Those, it was twice the size of that with 2 lipos in it. It was fucking mental, and it had I think it had a Titan on it as well. And the Titan looked small, but I that lasted him all day. Easy.
Whereabouts was that?
It was some guy on a Facebook group.
I think that's Michael Cross, if I can remember rightly. I know the exact mod you're on about.
Like mental, great big thing, yeah.
Yes. We're gonna have to mention this, fellas. Kaylee says Bluetooth docking station. Kaylee's come up with some really cool ideas tonight and come up with some really good chats. So I appreciate it. I've never seen you before in chat, Kaylee. So I appreciate you tonight.
That's a good idea.
But they don't use them on phones, bro.
Well, I do use mine on the phone, but it takes longer. But I suppose if I could leave my vape, if I could leave my whole mod onto a Bluetooth docking station, and it was fine, yeah, crack on. That's half the reason I plug my phone onto a pad. So I don't like leaving it plugged in all night. I know it's got the safety features to stop charging, but you still see the horror stories of people setting it on fire. And it could happen with a pad as well, I suppose. But yes, I'd have that. I'd buy one.
Kevin? Kev's like, fuck that shit.
I'm gonna docking station wise, unless it was lipo battery, I'd totally disagree. I think any 18650 should be charged out of a device safely in another charger, in my personal opinion. Lipos themselves, if they get too low, they become very unstable as well. So I think you've got to be careful with like charging docks, that sort of basis. So yeah, it would be a good idea if there was technology there to make it a lot safer.
I think in 90% of the time it is safe. I think there's always going to, obviously, you know, it's machine made, so there's going to be error. If it's man made, there's going to be error. But you got people, when people go, oh, you can't charge it through the mod, they should be getting tested to a stupidly high degree to make sure they don't blow up. You know, and if they do blow up, shouldn't release it.
Yeah.
I think that should definitely be taken off. I think that's another thing we should take off mods is charging like that.
If you take I was chatting to a local girl on a, I think it was on like the local Banter page. She was there going, can't believe it, my vape blew up, and it was I think it was a TFV8 or something like that. And I saw like you saw the USB port black. I was commented, did you charge it through the mains? Yeah, I had it plugged into my iPhone charger. I was like, you shouldn't do that, shouldn't I? And I was like, bitch, are you recorded?
That's why I came down to obviously removing the USB port. If it doesn't have a USB port, someone can't charge it.
Only problem you've got removing it is fucking on certain devices like the LiPo, internal LiPos, you fucking got no chance of charging it any other way because you're not going to fucking let somebody pull a LiPo out of a mod and charge it that way, are you? Because that's even worse.
Yeah.
Say to someone, you can vape, here's your vape, right? That will work for a day, but for the next day, you've got to buy this charger for 20 quid.
Yeah.
So you can't start a kit. You can't really do it.
I think we discussed it before. When you're a vapor, you've got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared. You cannot you can go out and buy fags and buy a lighter. You're ready with vaping. You can't. You've got to be prepared. Kevin said earlier, you've got to carry coils, you've got to carry batteries, you've got to carry all sorts of shit. When you even think of starting vaping, I think a lot of people don't think, fuck, I better be prepared for this, because they don't. They just literally see, okay, you walk into a shop, someone goes, I want to stop vaping, and I want to buy this, I want to buy that. Well, you need batteries, you need an external charger, you need this, you need that. By the time you fucking first walked into a vape shop, you walked out, unless you're buying a starter kit, spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've been in the local vape shop. You know, just sat there having a chat with people. Someone comes in, I want a vape. Oh, there's a starter kit for 25, 30, 40 quid. I want that one. That's 100 quid, mate. Like that set will cost you 100 quid. Yeah, that's all right. Fuck it, you know. Can't take it with you. I'm just there like, you're starting off on you spend 100 quid. You must be committed.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's the 100 quid for the initial device. Then they've got to buy fucking juice. Then they've got to buy batteries. And then as soon as you start reeling that shit off to them, it's like 250 quid, taking a piss.
But that,
like literally, bro, that's the device you want. That's what you're gonna. That's what you want.
That comes from they see that device because their mate's got it. And the mate said it's banging. It got me off the fags, but they forget to mention the potential starter kit, what they had first, what actually lowered the nicotine consumption, what they worked down through. They forget to mention that. They just go, oh, you want to buy one of these? It's absolutely banging. So they see it in a shop. If it's got a price point of 100 quid, 200 quid, whatever the price is, the mate said it's banging and it works. So they'll pay it. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I know Paul mentioned it in the chat quite a while back. There's a lot of vendors out there what will just happily sell a tier V8 to every customer that works through the door who wants to stop smoking. But unfortunately, the tier V8 isn't right for every single person.
No. I started off on sub-ohming, the 40-watt O-sub. Now, I think in hindsight, it would have been better for me to start mouth to lung. But because I didn't know there was a difference, I just went, okay, this is what I need to do. This is going to stop me smoking. I'll just power through with this.
Yeah.
And there's some people that have been vaping for years, mouth to lung, all the way. That's what they're going to do. And that works for them. So more power to them, you know. Crack on with it.
Definitely. Right, fellas, well, it's 10:05. I want to thank you very much for allowing me to have you on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been good to rip the shit, get some stuff out there, and hopefully people have listened and enjoy our opinions. I'd like to finish with Levi, if you want to tell us where people can find you, what sort of things you're doing outside of Banter. Also yourself, Kevin. We'll start with you, Levi. Where can people catch you? Where will they see you if they want to follow you on social media?
On social media, there is Facebook, which is Odd Mods Vape Reviews. I'm also that on Instagram as well. They're the best two places to find me. But yeah, that's what I'd say. Odd Mods Vape Reviews, because I don't do personal Facebook that much.
Sweet. Kevin, yourself?
I'd say Instagram would be at Kev Lester, and socially I am Facebook through and through all the time, so just Kevin Lester on Facebook. Cool.
Thank you ever so much, guys. We really do appreciate your time. We're going to go off and have a little cry now because we didn't have one earlier because we was holding back. So thank you ever so much, guys, for joining us. Remember, if you haven't pressed that subscribe button, to press subscribe. We'll probably be doing some giveaways probably in the next couple of weeks coming. Remember, there's also Vape Fest in probably less than 50 days. Still need to book the marquee. And we'll see you all next week. Hopefully, Paul will be back with us. Once again, thank you ever so much for joining us. And make sure you like all our social media, Endless Mods, AF Juice, and Build Them. See you all soon. Take it easy, and we're out.
Cheers.
Love yous.